Dexter Original Sin, episode 10, and this episode I liked. Like, this is the final episode of this season. I know it has been confirmed for season 2, but let's be honest, it's getting a season 2. Like, if you look at some articles about the ratings and how it's doing, and it becoming like the highest, one of the most highest watching shows for Showtime, it's getting season 2. And it's a way to keep Dexter going without having the question of, you know, does any of the original cast want to come back and do certain this and do that, all that? But what I think they'll do is, because we got Resurrection coming out in June-ish, they want to have the spotlight on that. Then probably midway point off through the season, like through Resurrection, they'll do the Comic-Con panel, they'll announce season 2 of Original Sin, plus maybe the Tree Killer show, and then we would know that there's a season 2. Because once again, the ratings of this show is just so bloody high. But how is this episode? This episode I liked. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed its conclusion. But there's so many, and maybe this time it was a mistake for me to rewatch season 1, like binge watch season 1 of Dexter, of the original series, because I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying it. Nope, I'm not buying it. I'm gonna be a canon guy. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not buying it. Anything that we're buying in this episode, I'm not buying. Because his whole thing, like the big question everyone had last week was, this show is set 15 years before the events of the original series. So the question is, why did it took Brian 15 years to do the stuff that he did in Series 1? Or a version of it. Why it took him 15 years. And, you know, a lot of people saying maybe he was locked up, maybe this, maybe that, you know, all that kind of stuff. But the truth is, what we got here is, the reason he didn't bump into Dexter more than 5 seconds is because Harry gave him a pep talk. But, Harry gave him a pep talk. And I'm like, no, I'm not buying it. Even if it's true that, Harry, Dexter's is in the right place he should be, with Harry, with Deb, with Miami Metro. He's having the perfect life. Brian would be, even a 22-year-old Brian, by the way, like 25-year-old Brian, he would totally be like, yeah, it might be true, but he's still family though. He's still blood. You're not his father. Our father's in prison. Our mum got into the chains, got cut into pieces. Deb was not his sister. This is all bullshit. The adoption is just bullshit. It's just bullshit. We are actually bond together. Because that's his whole thing in the original series. That the reason he became the Astro Killer, or one of the motivations, one of the reasons to become the Astro Killer, is because he wanted to be bonded together with Dexter. He wanted to be, brother. He wanted to reunite with him. And every time that he mentions, Deb or Harry or the code or anything, he's like, it's bullshit. She's not your real sister. So the whole thing of him saying, Harry having a bit of a pep talk to leave Dexter alone for 15 years, I'm not buying it. And maybe it takes 15 years to, build a giant refrigerator and, create a new Alice and call yourself Ruby Cooper. Maybe it takes 15 years to go to med school so you can, or art school maybe. I don't know what's the right suitable place to become a person who builds and makes archipelago sense, Yeah, maybe it takes 15 years to do that. To learn to drain the blood and all that. Maybe. And leaving enough of a reputation so people don't think you are that person. Maybe. Maybe that's the situation there. But I doubt it takes 15 years to do all that stuff. Maybe it does. But the reasoning behind it, even with the little end tag, I'm just not getting it. And maybe, Brian is like, oh, he's a serial killer. Maybe I can connect him with that way. I kill people, he kills people. Let's connect that way. Maybe. He still stalks him. So clearly it didn't work, but I'm not buying the whole pep talk thing to stop buying. It's just not. Even though, he killed the psychiatrist, killed the social worker, killed, 2 people when they were kids, made Brian's life a living hell. Because of it. I'm not buying it. Now, when it comes to the Dexter stuff, though, I really enjoyed it. All the stuff with Spencer, understand how lost Spencer is. Like, it's interesting watching him from episode 1 of the show, where, he's calm and collected. When he sees a body, he's like, oh, fuck, and, we're gonna get these fuckers and all this kind of stuff. And you can see when it comes to his family, he is a lost man. He is absolutely, like, he's like, like Dexter's like, this is your son and you're about to drown him. He's like, is he really? And he's saying doubts. So he's contemplating himself of doing these actions because, like, a simple, the fuck you, because last week he admits that the whole reason that Spencer, killed the judge's kid and kidnapped his own kid was simply a revenge thing. It was meant to be for revenge. And it's just going through, it's becoming deeper and deeper and deeper, and you realize he says himself he's not a serial killer, but you knew he was going to become one because of that reason. The whole stuff on the boat was like whipping and engaging, and you try to, you hopefully like Dexter's gonna make it because there's like 9 other seasons where he's 40 of the original show plus the sequel series and all that kind of stuff before we get the other sequel series. But anyway, it's a suspense. It's a hard on your seat. I was like really gripped onto it. And then he's on the boat. The first body, Spencer gets to be the honor to be the first body, the first victim that Dexter dumps in the original, in the slice of pie boat. Gets a dump in the ocean by Dexter. He gets to be honored by that. And the reasoning is that, you just show it. You just show that, he's like, well, at least she stared. I'm like, God damn, dude. Your dark side is really pushing it. And he's like, you're a fucking sociopath, but I'll be remembered as a great cop. And it's like, no, you'll be remembered as this, child snatcher, who killed a kid, who tortured his own kid. That's what you will be remembered by. And then the whole scene between Harry and Dexter, and how Harry is kind of contemplating and not believing what he's been hearing on the news about Spencer, but he kind of accepts it. It's kind of like him going through the 5 stages of grief in a span of a couple of minutes, and realizing he's gone because Dexter, killed him. Him being in the bottom of the ocean. It just shows the level of, I won't say tendency, but it's a level of writing when it comes to it, and I really enjoyed this dynamic, this version of the relationship between Dexter and Harry, and hopefully once again, which I do think will happen, season 2 they explore that even more, and of course season 2 they'll probably will introduce like Matthews, they'll introduce maybe Dokes in there. Maybe slowly have Dexter becoming the blood splatterless. The only thing left is he has the boat. He's doing all the stuff he does. The only thing left is the blood slides. But again, technically, the Dexter in modern time doesn't do the blood slides anymore. So just want to put that out there. Oh, there's a bit of a retcon going on in this episode where Deb tells Harry that he's going to become a cop. And last I remembered, in the original show, Deb mentioned how he disapproved on it. But clearly, he approved that Deb joined the police force. So there's a bit of retcon there, but of course that's leading to, my guess, season 2, if there once again is a season 2, that will have the adventures of Deb in the police academy. Greta, clearly, you know what it is? I have a feeling in the original series, it's weird because she's fine with Dexter, but in the original series, it may be the idea of the adoption thing, but in the original series, Greta is quite distant towards Deb. And I'm wondering it's because the relationship and her perspective towards Harry. And the whole thing of like the legend cop, the legend of the task force, the legend of Harry Morgan, and she's like, but he was a dick though. Who gives a shit? He wasn't that great of a guy. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on of Whistle series in general, episode 10, and see you next time. If you're just here for my thoughts on Dexter, see you next time when Resurrection comes out.